Should I play fall ball? It depends. I'll walk you through the answer if you're a high school or college baseball player, and I'll let you know my thoughts and maybe give you some options of what you can do instead if you don't fit the criteria. My name is Dr. Edwin Porras, Doctor of Physical Therapy, former professional baseball physical therapist, and I now own Pro Athlete Physical Therapy here in the Denver area. My hot take off the top is that if you eat chunky peanut butter, you deserve to go to jail for 5 years immediately. Chunky peanut butter is disgusting, and you need to eat only non-chunky peanut butter. So back to the fall ball thing. Should I play fall ball? Should you play fall ball? Baseball is 90% mental, and the other half is physical, right? The famous Yogi Berra quote. So should you play fall ball? Yes. If, number one, you're on an Armcare or a maintenance program with a physical therapist, with an athletic trainer, and you meet one of the two next criteria. You are still looking for continued exposure to the same scouts that you've been in contact with, not some random scouts you've never talked to or schools you've never been to, people you've never had any communication with. Continued exposure to the same scouts that you have a relationship with already that want to see you play a little bit more. Or if you missed a big chunk of the summer or the spring season, potentially due to injury in the first place. I think those are the only good reasons to play fall ball if you are, I want to say, even if you're 19, 20 years old. If you played most of the summer or the spring, I'm really going to encourage you. I'm gonna recommend that you think about it. I'm not gonna say you should or you shouldn't, but I'm just gonna say think about it. If you've played, let's say since March, February or March, here in Colorado, definitely March. If you've played 100 to 130 games already, then you're going to keep playing until you've been playing for 10 months straight. That is, based on fact, based on everything we know, a huge contributor, a big reason for injuries. Okay? So when we sit there in the middle of the winter and we're like, there's so many baseball injuries, what can we do? Number one, we can stop playing so many games, especially if you're still growing and developing. This is especially true for pitchers. For context, the average minor league season, right? The average minor leaguer, they'll play 120 to 150 games max. You have to change your workloads up and down throughout the year, like I've said over and over and over again, in order to stay healthy and actually develop as a baseball player. So fall ball can be useful and it can be fun. I get it. Sometimes it's fun just to be out there with the boys. But even MLB says that pitchers need to take at least 4 months off straight every year from pitching. And all baseball players need to take at least 2 straight months off from all throwing. That's straight from MLB. That's not a recommendation from me. That's not something I'm making up. MLB recommends that specifically. So instead, think about structuring your year like this. From March to July, you perform and you win. You play your season, your regular season, you play summer ball, and you show out. August to December. This is where I want you to take the time to rehab, do your maintenance work on your development, self-scout, where do you need to improve, identify where you need to develop. Then in January to February, ramp up and prep for the season. Let me say this. If you were at any point injured, but then have done nothing about it and all you did was rest, I'm really going to recommend that you take this time to rehab. You take that middle chunk, August to December, whether it's with me, whether it's not with me, I don't really care. I think that you should absolutely rehab your injuries, because injuries, and this is another topic for another day, injuries fall into 2 different categories. So fixing the injury versus preventing it or reducing the risk that it happens again. This is the time to reduce the risk of it happening again. So even though just simply resting will definitely reduce your injury risk as a baseball player in general, what else can you do? So let's say you're not going to play fall ball. You decided you don't want to play fall ball. What can you do instead? I'm glad that you asked. Strong. Here's what we know. When you have a high pitch volume, that leads to worse command, lower fastball, slower velo. Why is that? Well, think about it from a couple different perspectives, right? A high pitch count worsens your shoulder strength throughout the season in general. If you're a baseball player, you're a pitcher especially, throughout the season, your shoulder strength gets worse. So why is that? Think about it like this, right? If you're going up to the mountains in Colorado in January and you're going to go where there's a ton of snow, would you rather drive a heavy snowplow or a Nissan Versa? You would obviously drive the snowplow, right? The same goes for your body, because with the snowplow, you can maneuver in and out of places and you do exactly what you need to do, right? You don't even need to think twice about it. When it comes to a weak shoulder or a weak body in general, you're driving that Nissan, right? That Nissan Versa. It's not to say that the Nissan Versa in general or your body in general can't do things. It's just extremely limited in what it can do. And you know that you're not going to be able to get a lot out of it at that point, right? So by itself, a weak shoulder, if you're pitching or even if you're just throwing as a baseball player, is like driving that Nissan, right? It's limited in the distance it can go. It's limited in the terrain it can go. You can only do so much with that specific vehicle. You can only do that so much with that specific body type. So why else? Let's dig a little bit deeper. By itself, a weak shoulder while pitching is like driving a Nissan Versa in the snow. It's limited in what it can do. It's limited in the distance it can go, the terrain it can go across. Why else, right? Why else does shoulder strength matter? Because pitchers, when you notice that worst command, you notice the slower fastballs, what starts to happen? What starts to change? Your throwing mechanics. Guess what causes arm injuries? Altered throwing mechanics or bad throwing mechanics, and round we go. So let's recap. Physical weakness plus high pitch counts in general leads to slower fastballs, worse command, and more than likely, if you see those things, you notice them, you're going to start changing your mechanics. What happens when you change your mechanics? You increase your risk for arm injuries. So here's the good news. If shoulder weakness and general weakness can contribute to injuries, guess what can fix it or prevent them? Getting strong. A good strength plan. So the math works in reverse. Good strength equals smaller strength loss across the season. Smaller strength loss across the season means consistent velo and accuracy. Consistent velo and accuracy is going to be consistent throwing mechanics. Consistent throwing mechanics is going to be fewer injuries. And guess what? That also happens to mean you get to stay out on the field and you get to show your stuff. Your stuff stays consistent. You look better. You can perform at your peak. So you want to build your body like a snowplow, not like a Nissan Versa. Okay? So what should you do instead of fall ball? Number one, get on our Pro Athlete PT Armcare program. Really do that if you're going to play fall ball anyway. But number two, dominate in 2026 with a good strength plan and stop eating chunky peanut butter. We'll talk next time.